Our mission statement here at RLC says that we are Christ followers making disciples who worship, grow, serve, and steward. An important aspect of being a disciple and making disciples is growing as a Christian in our relationship with God. But what holds us back from saying yes to all that God offers? I remember one particular phrase from when my children were little. At some point, all three of them said this to me when I tried to help them. "Mama, I do it myself." So often I stood back and let them try. Sometimes they were successful, and sometimes they just truly needed help. So I would step in and help and maybe even teach them how to do it when that was appropriate. It can be a lot like that with God too. How many times in our lives have we told God, "Abba, Father, I do it myself"? And how many times did it end up in disaster? Or we ended up so stressed that we got sick. Or maybe we hurt someone, or we even hurt ourselves. When we hold God at an arm's length, never letting Him get close enough to help us, to love us, we deny ourselves the one source of strength, wisdom, power, and love that can save us, that can transform us into something new and different. When God called Moses to lead his people out of Egypt, Moses spent a lot of time trying to convince God that he was not the person for the job. In Exodus 3 and 4, Moses tries to convince God that no one will listen to him, that he doesn't possibly have the right skills, he's not a public speaker, and he would surely need help. Yet God just kept telling him that he wouldn't have to do it alone. In Exodus 3:12, God answered Moses, "But I will be with you." And we can hear those words echoing on through the Old Testament whenever God calls his people to do his work, and even today. He never leaves them or us alone. This is a promise we can claim. I look back in my life and I relate to Moses in many ways. I always hated public speaking in high school. I would have to give a speech and my hands would get cold and numb and shaky. I'd start to sweat and my knees would start to shake so hard I was afraid I was going to fall. In those days, I don't remember calling God to help me, but I wish I had. In the past several years, God has called me to talk in front of many groups, informally and formally. And I have found that when I call on Him to help me, I am much more at peace when I stand up to speak or sit in front of a camera like today. Let me read Joshua 1 verse 5b to 6a. That's the last part of 5 and the first part of 6. God has just commissioned Joshua to lead the people into the promised land. And he says to Joshua, "Just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous." Just as he was with Moses. Just as he was with Joshua, he will also be with you. So when you have moments of feeling inadequate or under-equipped or afraid, call on God and let Him know that you don't want to do it by yourself, but that you are glad He is with you wherever He calls you to go in life. Let's pray. Holy God, Abba Father, I don't want to do this life by myself. Thank you for all the reassurances in your word that we do not have to go it alone, but that you are with us, standing near, holding on, giving strength and courage and support in all we do. We can be courageous in our lives as a disciple because you are our God who will not leave us.